this is Talldude, and this is my daily paddle. I maybe do this 2 to 3 times a week. If I'm surfing, then less. If I'm not surfing, then more. But this is Dana Point Harbor, California, and this is getting towards the harbor mouth here. This area here is called, right at Doheny, it's called Capistrano Bay. This whole area here, and it's kind of protected from the jetty, or by the jetty. And so it's always interesting to see what's up in the ocean when you round this corner. It's always a mystery. You get around the corner and it could just be seasick, bumpy, windy, but it's just night and day from making this turn right here. So we're gonna see what today has in store for us. What adventures are around the bend. It's looking pretty good right now. Yeah, we'll see. It doesn't look too seasick, but you never know. It's always really choppy right here because of all the action of the jetty and the harbor. Lots of foam, lots of dirty stuff. So this is the first mark coming up here. It's just a green buoy. It's about, I think it's maybe a quarter of a mile to half a mile maybe out. I'm not sure, but kind of where all the beginners, when they venture into the ocean, this is kind of one of their first milestone is just getting out of the harbor. And kind of the second one is to be able to paddle out and around this green buoy here. And you know, they start experiencing open ocean and the swell and rising and lowering of the sea, which a lot of people takes a while to get used to, because you're going up about 6 right today. We're doing up and down about 5 or 6 feet on this swell. It's like taking an elevator up and down. So we go past the green, and there's the red. It's 2 miles, and about 1.25 miles out there, you can't quite see it, but there's a flag and a little buoy for the sail team. That's the A mark, and there's a B and a C mark in line with it heading south. So the wind is kind of in between, but it's more towards the red. So I'm gonna head into the wind because I'll be downwinding on the way back. And so there we go. And okay, so the refraction's backed off a little. I'm far enough out away from the jetty now that it loses its bite. So I'm able to pick up my speed a little bit. I'm not having to brace too much. About maybe every 10 strokes or so, I might feather my paddle just to kind of brace. So it's kind of a stroke, 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 brace, drag, and then same thing on the other side. The brace is critical with narrower boards, especially when it starts to get choppier and messier. It's your survival. But I'm still pushing a pretty good clip here. I'm probably doing 3.5, maybe 4 miles an hour into it, somewhere in that range. But that's it's hard to go any faster than that when it's pushing you right and left and bouncing you all over the place. I try and relax into a cadence here and kind of find a rhythm almost with what's going on with the swell. So I kind of know when I'm going to go up the face of a swell and when I'm coming down it, and I time my strokes to sort of correspond with that, and that way I'm better balanced on my board. I may be paddling at sort of an irregular pace, but it helps you maintain speed and balance by doing that. You just can't chug away with the same stroke when it's pushing you right and left and you're hitting faces of bump and it's going all over the place. So just got to kind of find a rhythm is really what it is. So there goes the Catalina Flyer, and they're pretty far away, so those wakes are going to die down by the time they get to me, but that thing throws about a 5 foot maybe bigger wave off of that bow, so that's always fun. So we're getting closer here. It's actually smoothing out, and I'm able to maintain pretty good speed. Kind of further out here, we're getting away from that jetty refraction. It's almost like backwash that just is all jumbled up. It's still here, you can still see it. Just going past me to the left, it's working its way out, and the swell's coming towards me from my left going right. So the two are kind of coming at a diagonal with each other, and I'm just sort of splitting the difference. That's sometimes the best way to deal with chop when it's coming two directions, is just to paddle straight up the middle of both of them, and you kind of bounce off one and bounce off the other, and it's just easier to deal with that way. So this is coming up on the whistle buoy, and you can hear the whistle. It's for the fog. It's a foghorn, a mechanical one. Let ships know that they're getting near rocks. But it's a red buoy too, but we all call it the whistle buoy because it has like this plunger thing that whistles a little mechanism in it, like blowing on a big bottle. Up. Keep that downbeat.